Hello, and again, it's been 12 months. So if you've watched any of the videos I've put on YouTube, my apologies. I haven't touched the Beetle for a year. As you can tell, I now have a full beard. It's been fuller and gone away again. And I'm sporting a very fetching pineapple haircut, as my daughter would say. And yeah, the Beetle hasn't been touched. This has been for various reasons. Mostly taking on too many stupid projects. I've built motorcycles, I've fixed motorcycles, I've been through 2 more cars. I've still got the Yaris. I had a brief fling with a French Peugeot convertible, which was fine until the wheels fell off. They literally nearly did fall off. So yeah, I'm back in the garage now. It's the new year, it's March, and I have promised wholeheartedly to crack on with that. It's been there literally not touched hardly since March last year. So today, midst of coronavirus, because everybody says coronavirus, a coronavirus, I'm stuck at home, so now seems as good a time to build up a bit of motivation and crack on. Last time I was in here, I got most of the base plate back onto the frame head, and I did have a drama figuring out how to bridge a little tiny gap, because obviously the steel's quite thick, and I couldn't fathom how I was going to weld the gap together safely. So today's job is trying to figure that out really quickly, weld that, and then I'm going to move on to what I'll show in a minute, tackling some of the leftover steel that's along the edge of the floor pan. So without further ado, let's crack on. Thank you for being patient. So as you can see, the problem I've got is, apart from the fact I'm lazy and I've left it for way too long, move the brush out of the way, is that they've got this sort of gap which is pinky wise. Obviously the floor pan is never going to be 100% completely flat. It's been battered over the last 48 years, although it's still solid enough, thank goodness. So I need to figure out how to fill this gap. Obviously this needs to be pressed up against that there for me to get a decent strong weld all the way along here. I'm sure at some point this was spot welded on, but I haven't got a spot welder, and I want it as strong as I can make it. So I think my plan's going to be figure out how I can sort of clamp the two together, be either big heavy bolts through there and tighten it down, or whether put a brace against this. Once I've started the welding here, hopefully it'll be warm enough that I can bang it with a hammer and get it to meet the bodywork. What I need to be critical of is not hitting it and bending the floor pan. And then you go. And obviously this is a good sign of good quality. These panels have been sitting in the damp garage for, well, a year now. It was a good quality panel, and bare metal there. This is only very, very mild surface rust, so it's almost, will rub off quite easily. So I'm quite pleased with the quality of that panel. Yeah, let's crack on and see what we can do. So yeah, as you can see, it's on. It's a little bit manky in places. I'll bear in mind I've only just had a few minutes of cleaning that up, so once it's cleaned and painted and flushed in, I think it'll be fine. A bit of seam sealer and that, so yeah, I'm pleased with that. I think what I'm going to do next is have a go at cleaning up this mess and that mess here. What you're looking at there, look, a convenient broken glove. This is obviously floor pan, ow, and this is where they'd welded the body to the floor, which obviously, as everybody knows, is a big Beetle no-no. Bad people, but obviously MOT repairs, so sort of required to keep a car on the road. You can see what it should look like there, nice sort of rounded edge and flush at the bottom, and then we've got this. So I think what I'm going to do is sort of try and cut from this side. Pull the floor pan away from the wall. Bear me a second. That's a better angle. I think what I'm going to do is try and get my grinder with a sharp-edged cutting disc into the gap there, cut it down to here, and then slice very, very gently along this top edge, and hopefully a lot of this will come away. I may need to do the same with that there. I'm pretty sure at some point there's going to be some holes. Focus. There's going to be some holes in this edge somewhere, but I can patch those easily enough because the rest of the floor pan is pretty solid. Yeah, let's have a crack at that. More grinding action. Cha-ching. So I've done one pass of obviously this, poke your finger, of this side of the chassis and floor pan. You can see I've sort of managed to cut off. I've gone through 2 cutting discs in the process, but it's not good. 1.5. One was already quite worn. This side was slightly looser, but I managed to cut a lot of this off quite neatly. The only drama is, if you can sort of see there, I've cut a tiny slice in the floor pan, but I can clean this up. I've got to do a bit of welding. I've got a little repair to put in there anyway. There's a little slice I need to fix. And the same again here. I've got a few little spots here and there, which I think I can. This bit is going to be cut out anyway, probably to about here. I'm going to order a whole corner, because this is obviously nasty pasty. So yeah, what I'll do is I'll flat this all back, clean it all up, and I'll just put a spot of rust in, and then focus. I'll put a spot of welding that can gap there. Flat that all back, and that's mostly this side done up into this bottom corner. Like I said, is the worst of it. Most of this was caused by MOT repairs, welded on top of MOT repairs. Obviously things go rusty over the years, and obviously the water got trapped in between the layers of steel, and then sadly this is what there's left of it. But you know, I've got a corner, I can buy the corner. These bits are all pretty solid. So right, let's crack on, get the flap wheel out, clean this up, a bit more welding. So I've been up and down it now with a grinding wheel and a flap wheel, and you know, if I'm being honest, if the camera focuses, it don't look too bad. My only sort of worry, as you can see where this is obviously original, my finger in the shot, this is original Volkswagen beading on the edge there, and you can see where the welded piece comes in, where they welded to it, it's a lot thicker. I may try and grind this back, just this edge, a little bit, but my concern is that it'll go too thin and I'll go through it. I'm going to weld in there in a second. You can see where the gaps, you can just see the light poking through where I'd accidentally cut through it, but compared to how manky it was, I'm kind of pleased with that. There is a slight curve in the floor pan, but I think that's going to happen because it's obviously sealed against the wall, and I'm sort of hoping that when I put the body back on, it all pulls itself back in and level again. I'm pretty sure that's going to happen. It's only the outer edges, so and once this is on and you've got the, put your piece back in, what do you call them, running boards back on, and the body sits on top of this, there's tiny like mil difference here. You won't see that, it's going to be under the car, so if I can't cut it back and grind it as thin as this, it's probably a mil thick, I'm not going to worry too much about it, not when I've got this kind of grot to contend with. So yeah, crack on, a bit more welding. I've pinched this together. I'll obviously weld that back in there. I'm going to weld that hole, I think. Possibly, maybe that one, and this will be probably the point where I sort of give up and cut out a piece here, because obviously I've got a hole there that I can use as a guide point so when I come to put the new panel in. So yeah, let's crack on. A bit more welding. Cha-ching. Just turn the radio down, excuse me. So, very cold tea. I'll show you what I've done. It's come out pretty well, to be fair. The little lines, the little gaps that I'm accidentally cut, I suppose, you know, it's always going to happen. When I said, oh, let's do that. I'll just put a bit of weld in. Turned out to be a right pain in the arse, because obviously the metal's pretty thin. It's been welded previously. So it was a bit of a pig. I've got a couple of little pinholes that I need to fill, but they are literally not even a mil, so I'm kind of happy with that. You can't even see it, but I've done obviously the base plate, the long bit of the base plate's on, that's never coming off again. And I'll show you now how much cleaner that looks. I'm so pleased with it. I said it was never going to be perfect. It's a 72, so 82, 92, 2002, 2012, 2022, 2020. Yeah, it's 48 years old, so I'm going to check me counting on my fingers. So for a developer that can't do maths. Yeah, the car's 48 years old, so I'm working on nearly 50-year-old steel. If I can preserve a little bit of it and it not be perfect, I'd rather do that than throw in some cheap floor pans and, you know, and not be Volkswagen. So yeah, preserve as much as we can really. So yeah, I'll show you what I've done now, and then I'm going to get a bit more, I'm going to do something more mechanical, I think. So obviously before it was horrific. You could see all the edges, it was all spiky. Ignore the little black bits, it's not rust, it's just old paint where I haven't cleaned it quite well. It's all fairly smooth along here. You can see where I've had to fill it in with weld there. And you can just about probably make out a few little pinholes, which I will fill in. I'll probably do that tomorrow now. I'm trying to keep the noise down a little bit because my neighbours. So yeah, it's all come pretty well. Like I say, you're not going to see this by the time it's painted with undercoat. You know, it's going to be pretty good, rubberised stuff, nice and thick and tough. So yeah, kind of pleased with that. I think for now though, I'm going to move on to something apocalyptic noise, slightly more mechanical. I'm going to have a crack and take off the master cylinder there, because I do need to weld obviously the base plate to the top of the frame head there. You can see there's quite a bit of a gap. This metal's fairly thin, so I'm not too worried about tapping that flush and seam welding it and then cleaning that up as well. But yeah, obviously to do that, the master cylinder needs to come out. It does still function because if I push that, brake fluid comes out, well, not a great deal. I did cut all the brake pipes previously. That was deliberate. I didn't really want brake pipes left on the car because, well, this is how they were run. Previous videos I said this isn't my work. This is how the brake pipe was run through the car. I've trapped in between the centre of the chassis there, the spine, and the seat belt. So obviously that's a bit of a pinch point, and also I've hammered it flat. So yeah, let's get this off, get that off, and it's a little bit more off the car then. She's in. So there we have one 1972 Volkswagen master cylinder. I think it's dual circuit maybe, which means it's got two circuits, I suppose. I didn't know it was. This is good because I need to order another one, so it's two circuits. It looks like it's got two brake light switches. Maybe one's for a brake light warning, I don't know, I'm not sure. And I'm assuming that these are the pipes that go to, I don't know, we'll find out. Maybe one's a vent, maybe one goes to fluid levels, possibly, I don't know. Possibly it's hidden underneath there, so yeah, not too bad. It obviously it does work because when you push it, the brakes did work when I picked the car up, but obviously, it's again like the rest of the car, this is 48 years old. I'm not going to throw it, I'll keep it for reference to make sure I buy the right one, or I may buy a rebuild kit because this could possibly be the original. It's at least very old, so you never know. We'll find it, I'll box it up and keep it safe. So there we go, it's now 8 o'clock in the evening. I've got quite a lot done today for the few hours I've been in here. It takes a little while to get going again, but I'm fully motivated. Obviously having the forced time at home is pretty good. So yeah, I'm kind of pleased with the progress. I'll show you where I got to tomorrow. I'm going to tidy up now. I've got a steak and a film to watch this evening, so be excellent to each other. Take care out there. Well, I say out there, nobody's out there, it's quiet as a mouse. And thank you for watching. If you've hung on in there waiting for another video for 12 months, wow, stamina, because yeah, sorry for that. Goodbye.